Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is the voice and energy and physicality of me, Amanda Ellis. Oh my goodness. This has been a struggle to get this video done today. This is probably take number 12. And I've just broken a, what do they call it, a tripod. So this is balanced on a load of books and cards. High-tech stuff here, I tell you, high-tech stuff. But the struggle is real to get messages of hope, peace, joy, and love out at this time. So in all seriousness, particularly if you're a regular follower of me and you know that you trust my work and that usually it's good, please can you just give a like right now before you forget to this video, because it helps to get it beyond the algorithms of people that watch me all the time. I really feel that the next two videos that I'm going to be bringing through for you for Advent are very important. And I'm going to tell you why I think they're particularly important this year in a moment. But yeah, this is video 1. We're going to be looking at the energies of hope and peace. It's tied into the Advent candles, which link into the 4 Sundays of Advent in December, leading up, of course, to Christmas Day. Now, I mean, you know, years ago as a child, we went to church every Sunday. It's a weird one. I don't actually remember really Advent that much. For whatever reason, maybe as a child I was just focused on Christmas Day and getting to that. But this year, for whatever reason, my 2 main guides, which are Archangel Metatron and Jesus, asked me to do these 2 videos for you and to mark Advent. So I think we'll start with just a refresher of what Advent is before we get into the symbolism of the wreath, the candles, the colours, the archangels, and the messages that want to come forward. I would like to say at this juncture that you will hopefully benefit and get something from this video. Whatever belief system you follow, it is not done just for people that go to church. I don't go to church myself anymore. As I've always say, I left the church, but I never left Jesus. This is very much going to be my take on the 4 Advent energies linked into Christ consciousness. So it's open for all, and I'm also very aware that many of you may have different traditions around not just Christmas itself, but Advent also. So let's start off then with what is Advent. And I'm just going to read this from a website I've got here. So it says and reminds us that Advent is a seasonal tradition often celebrated in the Christian faith to prepare for the arrival of Jesus. Now, I believe Jesus never went away. The Christ consciousness energy never went away. So for me, Christmas is about a recommitment to all of those beautiful qualities of Christ consciousness that we are asked to live by and embody, as we've done in other lifetimes also. So the Advent wreath, and we'll talk more on this in a moment, is used to celebrate and commemorate this newness, this eternal life, and the death and rebirth energies. It's one of the most symbolic traditions in the season of Advent to have an Advent wreath and the candles. And it says, with its colourful candles lit on each of the 4 weeks of Advent, the wreath is a reminder of the hope and joy that is coming. Advent wreaths are not exclusive to churches. Many families and individuals have an Advent wreath at home, and they observe the tradition of lighting the candles for each Sunday. We are also reminded that Advent itself comes from the Latin word adventus, which means arrival or coming. It also talks about the fact that a few historical accounts put the inception of Advent as a tradition somewhere around the 4th or the 5th century. Many different countries, as I say, have different ways of honouring it, celebrating it. I believe the Catholic Church has different symbolism. Some of the candles are called different things. There isn't consensus in terms of which colour candle is always correct for everybody. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to do on this channel, okay? So I think it would be nice, though, just to start off with a reminder about maybe why I'm doing this and putting into context why I believe Spirit has asked me to look at this month. I'm just getting up a comment here from one of you that came in yesterday on Facebook, which I think perfectly illustrates why there is the need for it and why we are doing this. So let me just pull up this comment. I won't say the person's name, but I had a nice conversation with you. I think you're probably watching. And this was what you said, and then I'll say what I said back. So you say, "Hello, dear Amanda. I have been quietly watching you from Canada for about a year. I love you and your videos and watch you early in the morning. I'm suffering a lot right now as I watch the war and genocide happening. I'm doing all that I can online, petitions, reaching out to whoever will listen, and no one I know personally seems to care. I will not celebrate Christmas this year. I can't, not while this war is happening in the Holy Land. I'm afraid I'm growing bitter when I look around me and I see all the people who just don't care, who aren't looking, or who just can't see. Thank you for your constance. I need your videos now more than ever." Now, I replied thus, bitterness will simply lead to more suffering for yourself and the collective. To shun the Christ light and not celebrate it, which raises the frequency of joy, is a big mistake. I ask you to think again. You staying in a low vibration of pain and horror does not lift others' pain. It simply allows it to flourish. Christmas is a celebration of love, peace and joy and hope, and love is the only answer to war and always will be. The Holy Land needs us to hold these energies. I send you love, light and hope, and please watch my Advent videos starting tomorrow, as I believe they will help you. This person replied and said, "Thank you very much. It's just that I'm unable to bear the injustice. I will try harder. I just feel that I'm awakening to all of the darkness at once. But I will light my candles and celebrate with you." I think it's important to put the context. Many people at the moment feeling tired, alone, fearful, full of despondency and despair maybe for what is going on in our world. But I believe it's exactly for that reason that I've been called to do this series of work for you. So shall we settle down into it and get going? Okay. So it's about 11:30 here in the morning. I've been sitting at this desk for an hour and a half trying to do this. So if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to have a little bit of coffee and then I'm going to explain the wreath and the candles, and we'll talk archangels and colours and draw some cards. The first thing to say is that, yes, you are correct. The first Sunday in Advent has already been and gone. It was last weekend, but I wasn't able to do it then. So we're going to catch up, which is why I have the first candle already lit, which represents the energy of hope. Let's start with the wreath, shall we? That I think hopefully you can see in shot. I'm not going to try to change the camera because, as I say, I just broke a tripod trying to do that. So what we have here is the wreath. There it is, has within it and on it 5 candles actually. 3 of them are purple, 1 of them is pink, and 1 of them is white. The white one in the centre gets lit on Christmas Day. for the celebration of the arrival of Jesus. The 3 other purple candles, for me and my tradition and how I grew up, I'm going to dedicate to the energy of hope, peace, and joy. Some people and places put the joy candle as being pink, but I'm going to put it as purple. And then the pink candle for me is the candle of love, and the white candle stands for purity. So we're going to light 2 candles today, actually. As I say, one's already lit, but the second half of this video where I look at the energy of peace will light the second candle together. And then we'll light the other 2, 3 and 4 in my next video. I'll timestamp this so you can follow what we're doing and where everything is. I will probably record the second part of this series after I get back from Yorkshire. I'm going up to see my dad, so that will be at the end of next week, in time for the 3rd Advent Sunday. Okay, so on my Advent wreath then, we have the candles, we have the colours. I've also tied in my sprays, so the healing, aura and connection sprays that we make, because 3 of them actually have got the names of the 3 candles. So the first candle lit is the energy, is called hope. So we have a hope spray. And hope is in a beautiful olive green / lime green shade. And it's about positive mindset. So I'll come back to that in a moment. We also have a peace spray. So the sapphire peace spray is also included on this wreath. The 3rd candle, which we'll light in video 2, is the candle of joy. And we have a joy spray, lemon joy, happiness and joy. So that goes onto our wreath. In terms of the candle of love, I have chosen to represent that Archangel Chamuel, who comes in on the pink ray. Actually, with our sprays, this one's called Love and Peace, so we're doubling up. But it's also to do with relationship support. And that includes the relationship that we have with the divine. It includes the relationship that we have with the divine within ourselves. I've also included Archangel Gabriel, for reasons that will become apparent in a moment, because I feel that Gabriel ties into the energy of hope. What else have we got? We've obviously got the energy of the Christ light itself. This is the Master Jesus spray, Christ light. That is on our wreath. I wanted very much to include the energy of Mary Magdalene to represent the divine feminine on the wreath. So that is on the wreath. And the last one that I've got so far is a spray representing new light, made of frankincense, lemon and cedar. This is one that we've just done for this Christmas. So those are my sprays. I've also got some crystals representing the 4 different qualities of hope, peace, love and joy, and the colours. So for hope, I've put Peridot down. I have a little Peridot bracelet. So that is on the grid. For love, we have good old rose quartz. For joy, I have put citrine. For sapphire, for the peace, I haven't got sapphire. And I know we could use any blue crystal. I mean, you might want to include, if you want to do something similar in your home, a piece of blue lace agate. But the one that was particularly calling me, for whatever reason, was aqua aura. So I've got a little piece of aqua aura. Oh no, that's not aqua aura, sorry. That's blue obsidian, I believe, blue obsidian. But any blue crystal will do for the energy of peace. And I've also put amethyst onto the grid as well, because of all the purple candles. I just feel amethyst is there and needed also. So those are my crystals, those are the candles, those are the colours. Let's now break it down one by one. Let's focus on this first candle, which is the candle of hope. Okay, the candle of hope. I also want to give a nod here, energy-wise, to beeswax. The candles are beeswax candles. So honouring the energy of the bee. And you might know, if you have my Christ Consciousness deck, that this is the back to all of the cards. And it's actually the card of grace, but it has the nectar, the honeycomb, and it has the bee. So bees were one of the early symbols linked into Christianity, the church. But I think in Christ consciousness, what the bee represents is us pulling together and uniting together and working together to bring about this energy of new earth. And so a portal such as Advent Sundays and Christmas itself is just a beautiful opportunity to honour and grow that Christ light within ourselves, particularly during the darker months for much of the world. I realise, obviously, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, you're going to be in summer months, but equally there is a lot of darkness over our world at the moment. So the growth of this Christ light within us is very important. But anyway, let's talk about hope, shall we? The energy of hope. Now, this is also sometimes called the prophecy candle. For me, in terms of Christ consciousness and the deck that we've got, it ties in very much to the energy of faith. Hope and faith, to me, seem to go together. This card is representative of the time where the lady in the crowd reached out to touch the cloak of Jesus, knowing that she would be healed if she did. And he turned around and asked her why she had done it, and reminded her that it was her faith that had healed herself, and that energy lies within yourself. So it says, find holiness within. So I feel as though that card, if you have got my deck, ties in quite nicely to the first candle, the candle of hope. But let's also now just spray the hope spray and see what comes forward as a message. So let's remind ourselves of the colour. To me, I just love this colour representing the energy of hope. It reminds me of springtime. It reminds me of new growth. It reminds me of the lushness of nature. This spring that's just gone, I really noticed the colour of the grass when it first reappeared after the winter months. It almost looked fluorescent. It was so green. And the energy of green is all about growth and new beginnings. And the thing with the energy of hope is that really that's what we're trying to hold on to, aren't we, when we hope? We're hoping for better times. We're hoping that things work out. We're hoping for the best. So nature reminds us to trust the process, that the cycle will come back on itself in a better, more beautiful way. And I'm also being reminded here about the cycle of life, and also the fact that death is not the end anyway. I personally believe in the energy of us coming back and past lives. So that green also stands for that. But let's just spray the energy of hope and see what we get given today. So let's just put this around ourselves and just imagine that beautiful olive green, lime green spray coming down around you. And in particular, I'm wanting you to place it underneath your feet. So the energy of this green underneath your feet. And if you could just imagine that lushness, that ripeness, that energy of the bud that wishes to burst forth, but it's not quite yet time, but it will be in divine timing soon. Whatever that means for you, whatever it is that you are hoping for, wishing for, this is both personal in our own lives, and it has to be for the highest good of ourself and all concerned, but also for the collective as well. I'm being shown Mother Earth now just being blanketed and covered in this beautiful green, which represents, as I say, hope. We must always keep the energy of hope alive. Now, a couple of passages that I'd like to read to you, neither of which are very long. I bought this book I think it was going to be a Christmas present for somebody, and then I thought, actually, I'm going to keep it for myself. It's by somebody called Donna Ashworth. It's called Wild Hope. I don't know if any of you have got it. Wild Hope. And it says, when the world leaves you weary and the road ahead is dark, Donna Ashworth's powerful words will bring comfort and lead you to the light. So I've opened it on this particular page, and it talks about the energy of love. I'm just going to read it. It says, care not for fact when I am gone from sight. Cling to the blissful hope that love is enough to bring us together again. So I feel as though I opened it on that page for somebody watching this video. Care not for fact when I am gone from sight. Cling to the blissful hope that love is enough to bring us together again. So that is one message for somebody out there. I'm going to just open it on a few other pages and just see what we get. They're all good, to be honest. Okay, this is perfect. It's called Today I Hope. Let's read this then. I hope you see the beauty in the bland today. I hope you laugh until those tears just flow. I hope you let your soul be as it must today. I hope you'll finally learn to let go. I hope the winds of change will blow your way today. I hope your heart is beating strong and true. I hope you'll let the warmth inside your world today. I hope you'll find some kindness there for you. I hope you like the way your story goes today. I hope you see the hero there is you. I hope you'll write the chapter you deserve today. I hope the happy ending will come true. I hope you know the impact that you have today. I hope you see your light for what it is. I hope you do not pick yourself apart today. I hope you know this life is yours to live. I hope you'll feel the sun upon your face today. I hope you'll share a moment with a love. I hope you find some comfort in this place today. I hope you also take some comfort from above. Beautiful, isn't it? So that's Donna Ashworth, Wild Hope. And I also wanted to read a passage from this book, May You Be Well by Cheryl Rickman. This is a much smaller little poem, but it said something to me. And which one was it that I wanted to read you? Yeah, it was this one. It's a blessing on uncertainty. Because this is the thing, when we have hope, or we're hanging on to hope, there's that expression, hanging on to hope. Why are we doing it? We're hanging on to it because we're in a place or an energy or a situation which is not ideal. Whether that is collective in the world, we're hoping for change, we're hoping for peace, we're hoping for unity, or whether it's within ourselves. So uncertainty seems to be on the axes. It's the other end of the spectrum of hope, uncertainty and hope. So a blessing on uncertainty. May I see uncertainty differently to the way it is often feared, as something with endless possibilities. I no longer need to run away from uncertainty, for I know it is part of life. Uncertainty means I get to live with possibility and potential and hope. What a gift. I love that. I love the way that we're able to just change the whole narrative there. That yes, we're in times of huge uncertainty. It's making many of us feel very vulnerable. Our emotions can be very up and down during these times. But within uncertainty lies potential. And within that potential, there is always hope. It is a gift. I completely agree with those words. So I wanted to read those two passages to you. Also to show you these two cards, which are from Cheryl Richardson's Grace cards. Interesting that I've chosen this book, which is by Cheryl Rickman. And these cards I'm about to show you are by Cheryl Richardson. So before I even show you what they are, I want to look up what is the meaning of the word Cheryl. Because I feel as though that's a bit of a key. It's something that we're meant to talk about. So what does Cheryl mean? And how many Cheryls have I got that follow me? It means, okay, so it's French. It means darling or beloved. It's a feminine name of French origin that is sure to remind a baby of your love for them every time they hear it. That's nice. So it means darling or beloved. Imagine if we could feel that about ourselves, that we could feel that we are beloved, that we are our own darling, that we love ourselves to that degree, not from an egotistic perspective, but just from the modeling the template that basically God has for us, where he loves us unconditionally. If we could view ourselves in the same way. And then imagine if we were able to do that, how that would change how we looked at other people, if we were able to see other people through the eyes of love as well. But anyway, that's just the energy of Cheryl that sort of came in there as well. Okay, so these two cards then. So remember, this is linked into the hope candle, which is linked into faith and trust, which are all part of it. So I've shown you my card, which is about faith, Jesus and the lady. But this one here just shows this beautiful archangel, and it says, have faith. Every event we experience and every person we meet has been put in our path for a reason. So can we truly feel into that? And that includes the experiences and the people that sometimes are very challenging, that lead us to doubt, that lead us to places which are very uncomfortable, but to understand that every single person and every experience in our life is there for a reason. And again, if we look at the energy of Jesus's story and the people that he met along the way and what happened to him, that story would never have been completed if, for example, he hadn't met Judas. So important to bear that in mind as well. So that's the first card. But I also wanted to bring this card of vision in. Vision. It says, pay attention. There are signs, symbols, and messages divinely placed in our path to guide us in the right direction. And that's important because the energy of hope, there's an expression, isn't there, blind hope or blind faith. And I don't think that's actually helpful, because that feels as though in that state of being, we've sort of surrendered control and responsibility. We just have blind faith. We've got blind hope that somehow it's going to turn itself around or things are going to work out. And it seems to take us out of the picture in terms of our own responsibility, our own accountability to also help ourselves for the best possible outcome that we're hoping for, to also have us playing a part within it as well, not just sort of waiting without any action on our behalf. But this thing about hope, to me, is also saying that whilst there is this dance happening between us waiting but also taking action, we get many signs, many symbols, and many messages along the way. And to pay attention to those. Okay, so to pay attention to those. And what Metatron is saying to me here is that when we, for example, look at the collective mess that the world seems to be in at this time, Messages and symbols linked into the energy of hope, how important it is to notice and acknowledge the good deeds, the good people, the wins for the light, the things that actually are an improvement. And the more that we focus on that, the more that we will help manifest more of that as well, rather than just fixating on the horrors. It's not to say we don't give attention to what is very difficult in our world, but the more that we only focus on that, it comes back to what that lovely person was talking about in the comment that I read out earlier. They said that they'd started to just feel bitter about life, bitter about other people. And it's because the balance isn't there in terms of also just appreciating the little wins along the way, the things that people are doing in our community, in our towns, in our families, in our businesses, that actually are important and are acts of love. And these are just some of the actions that help us get to that end result that we're all hoping for, the tipping of the scales of the planet to love and away, for example, from the energy of war or hatred or division. So concentrate on the little wins and the symbols along the way as well. So the last thing I'd like to say with regards to hope is I'd like to, well, two things actually. Let me firstly talk about the crystal before I forget. So the crystal that I would like to put with hope is Peridot. And now, yes, have I got the card? Yes, this is from the Judy Hall deck. This is what Peridot looks like. Peridot is a really expensive crystal. I think I have got one. I think it's Tracy's now got it because we make crystal essences to go in the sprays. But I remember buying it and it was quite expensive and it was tiny. I mean, really tiny. So they're very expensive. I had a beautiful pair of Peridot drop gold earrings, which my mother gave me. I've still got the necklace. And I think it was last winter, I went collecting wood with John and I was bending over, picking up all these bits of wood and putting them in the back of the car with him. And one of these tiny little earrings dropped out in the mud and the wood, and I never found it. I didn't even realise I'd done it at the time. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you it because it feels as though it was symbolic. It was like this really precious little tiny jewel, which is what it was, lost in the mud, lost in the farm, basically, in the farmyard. But yet, one day somebody will discover it. That's the thing about the qualities of what Peridot probably stands for. It's worth searching for. It's worth digging for. So what Judy says about Peridot as a quality, and we're linking this to hope, is it's linked to emotional cleansing. She says, Peridot frees the mind from unwelcome, envious thoughts and night terrors. It's transmutive and it's purifying. It's very good for healing envy and jealousy that might be thrown your way. That's really interesting in the context of this video, isn't it? Because sometimes when we hang on to the energy of hope, we're told that we're just deluded. You're deluded for believing that this world is ever going to become united. You're just a deluded fool that believes that peace and love are the most powerful energies on this planet. You're just a deluded fool. But actually, deep down, there is an energy there of envy, jealousy, because the person saying those things at a very deep subconscious level realizes that actually you're holding a higher template, you're holding a higher frequency, which is not about division and blame and taking sides and more war and more fighting, but they can't get there. They can't get there. They want to stay in the camp of divide and conquer. And just noticing there's a magpie, it's not stuck in a gully. Oh, what do they call it? You know, the roof with the water thing that holds the water. It's fine. It's got out now. But as I was saying that, there was this magpie stuck in the gutter, and he's okay. He's flown off now. But that's symbolic. It's like the black and white energy, duality. Can't get out of duality. So I'm going to say you're just stupid. You don't understand the issues. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, come over to our side because we want to keep the whole game of division going. And the nature of it is like, you see, the thing with jealousy and envy as well, it links into the energy of green as a colour. And green is also the colour of the heart. So it's as though I can't get into my heart space like that. I can't be forgiving. I can't be compassionate. I don't want to go there. I want to stay in this slightly, poisonous, witchy place. That's what it feels like. So Peridot helps to heal that if that's been flung at us, and to detoxify from others' emotion. So, and it's also about following your own life path without judging yourself or being envious of others. You have the power to go through fiery transmutation and emerge transformed. So, quite an interesting crystal there that I chose for hope. I was just really told Peridot is the one that is needed. Now, again, you may not have Peridot in your collection at home. You can just go onto Google. If you haven't got a set of cards like this, you can print out a picture of Peridot and you can put it onto, it doesn't have to be an Advent wreath that you've got, a little grid. Effectively, what this is a portal for the energies that I'm going to be discussing to come in and then flow out to the world. So what you're doing when you create a grid or a wreath like this is you are helping to bring these qualities to you, to help heal you, your family, your home, but also to then send them out into the world, okay? So if you want to join me, as I say, the Peridot energy is important. You can just print out a picture of a Peridot stone, cut it out, put it onto your grid. Okay. Last thing I want to say then about the energy of hope is I want to tie it to an archangel, and it feels as though it's linked very much to the energy of Archangel Gabriel. So Gabriel, of course, was the archangel that came to Mary and not only delivered the message that your soul calling, this spray is called soul calling and guidance, your soul calling is to birth Jesus, to be the mother of Jesus, but also guidance was given. Because I'm sure that Mary, in those early days, would have had periods of feeling very helpless, hopeless, energy of like, I'm not sure I'm up to this, because she was a human being. And human beings have these feelings, especially when they're given big soul missions. So let's now take that into your life and think about how Gabriel, this Advent, can bring in whisperings to you in terms of your soul mission, but also this spray, it says soul guidance. It's like, what does your soul need now for its growth? But also it's tied into the energy of hope. So let's now just spray the spray and see what I get. I'm actually going to spray it into my hand and then breathe it in, because when I spray it all over like I normally do, I don't want to put the candle out. Oh, ow, that's hot. I don't want to put the candle out. So I'm going to do it this way today. So the energy of Archangel Gabriel. Right. Wasn't expecting to be tuning into this message, but it's perfect in terms of what I've just said. Now, I can't remember what the oils are that are in this spray. I'll look them up in a moment, but there's an aniseedy smell coming through very strongly, and must have something. Let me just check what is in it as I'm talking to you. But it must, to me, what it is coming through as is Gabriel is helping to clear the pathway for our mission. Let me just quickly see what the oil is the oils are in the Gabriel spray, because I'm intrigued. So the essential oils in the spray are... This is one to not use if you have epilepsy, by the way, because it's fennel, probably. White camphor, clary sage, fennel and grapefruit. Is the fennel, I think, that I'm picking out. But also grapefruit. Yeah, I'm right. And clary sage is all very, very cleansing, very clearing. Tracy's written here, this is probably from the Valerie Ann Warwood book, with regards to camphor. It says no timidity, I can't even say it, no timidness surrounds camphor, a fragrance of the warrior angel. For freedom of the spirit and enlightenment, camphor protects the soul. Camphor brings purification and cleansing, and has done for eons, for longer than we can imagine. The camphor trees has been guarding the passages of life, a spiritual protector and guardian of rebirth. It's a really lovely spray, this one. But, also it's the energy of Archangel Gabriel. So what Gabriel is saying, linked into hope, is that we have to clear the way for it. It's this thing about, it's not blind hope. You have to clear a passageway for hope. This seems to be linked into clearing our minds as well, more than anything, clearing our space. Clearing what is in the way that is not conducive to the best possible outcome arriving. And that's a big subject in itself, but it will include lower vibrational qualities, such as... I'm just being shown communication in particular. Gabriel is about communication, so that's why he's showing me communication. So the energies of slander, gossip, just lower energy, as my throat goes, linked into communication. What is it we're reading? What is it we're passing on as information? All of that sort of... It's just like this gossipy type, lower energy, slander, thinking ill of others, talking ill of others. I'm being shown it now like a spider web, and it's like we get caught up in it, but then we're still expecting a really high vibrational thing to arrive in our life, but it can't get through the spider web that we've built up around ourselves, which isn't positive. So definitely Gabriel feels as though he's just clearing the way. Okay, I'll pull a card from the Gabriel deck from Dorian Virtue, and then we're going to move on to the second candle, which is peace, in this video. How are we doing for time? 42 minutes. Wow, we've got all the time in the world. I'm not speeding up. I'm going to lead a movement away from all of this fast food, all the. It's not about fast food. It's just an analogy. I just can't bear the way that society is going in terms of just the soundbite. It's like, let's bring back the depth. Let's bring back the quality. I'm being shown a group of ancient philosophers, and they're sitting around in a circle discussing. And it took hours to come to a conclusion or to hear everybody. And it was done in a really... I'm being shown an old like mystery school type energy, but they're all sitting and they're learning from each other, and it's thorough and it's deep and it's meaningful, and it arrives at hopefully a conclusion that is satisfactory. But even if the conclusion isn't reached, everybody's learnt something from the whole process of just sitting, versus this sort of fast fodder energy that we have right now, which is give it to me quick, get on with it type energy. We've got inspiration. Okay, so it says, yes, your idea is divinely inspired. Do you think that's a nod to depth? I think it is. Take action accordingly to set it into motion. So we have the energy of inspiration. And yes, absolutely, with Gabriel, hope. What am I trying to say? Hope and inspiration. Okay, I'm being taken into the future. But it could be, noses go, a year into the future, 2 years into the future, but it's your future. your year ahead, your 2 years ahead. Don't just have hope that it's all going to work out. You know, I hope that I'm going to be in a better relationship. I hope that I'm going to have more money. I hope that this, I hope that. It's like, be inspired. And then it says take action accordingly to set it into motion. Definitely an energy of action is within the energy of hope. Okay. Right, we're going to move on to our second candle, which I'm going to light. And the second candle, let me just clear the decks, is linked into peace. So let's have a look at the energy of peace. Let's light the second candle. Let me drink my cold coffee. You hear the magpie? I think they're mourning the loss of the branches in the trees. They've lobbed all the branches off the trees in our. They've lobbed the branches off the trees in our road. They do it every year because they're massive trees and they always grow back every year stronger. But you know, the magpie's like, hold on a minute, what's happened? Where's my branch gone? Send some love to the magpies. Right. Let's light our second candle, the energy of peace. Sometimes this is called the Bethlehem candle. Ties in nicely to our beautiful painting, doesn't it? I'll talk about that. Let's light the candle first, though. So this is the second candle of Advent. I'm doing this early. I hope you don't mind. Don't mind, do you? Hopefully, Spirit. No, they don't mind. Because the second Sunday in Advent hasn't actually arrived yet as I record this, but it will be the 10th, Sunday the 10th. So I'm lighting this for the 10th. Candle of peace. Let's put that there. So sometimes called the Bethlehem candle. Okay. Bethlehem star in the painting. This is obviously the painting of the Magi by Jane Delaford Taylor. It's in the Christ Consciousness deck that I did with her. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that in video 2, but I just wanted to note it. So the energy of peace. So where should we start? Let's start with an archangel. Why not? So for me, the energy of peace and an archangel, I go straight to Chamuel. And again, this is an old deck of Doreen Virtues, but I love this depiction of Chamuel in her deck. And we have Chamuel linked into the energy of peace. It says, peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Yeah. I love the silence that's just come in. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So Archangel Chamuel, let me spray the Archangel Chamuel spray. Oh. Yes, sorry. I just realised there's a lot of Chamuel in my wreath because, yes, he's here because I was also going to use him for love, wasn't I? But equally it's love and he's going to appear twice. Okay, Chamuel's going to appear twice. He's going to appear for peace and he's going to appear for love. And indeed this spray does say love and peace. Okay, because I also want to bring the sapphire peace spray in. Right, let's start with Chamuel. Let's see what Archangel Chamuel wants to say with regards to peace. Peace is not as elusive as you think it is. Peace is here. In every breath, in every second, in every moment of the day, if one chooses to look for it. He's talking about pockets of peace, even during difficult times. He showed me a pile of rubble and the silence that can follow. I'm talking particularly man-made disaster. It's talking about the energy of rest in peace. honouring the energy of rest in peace. That when the soul passes, there is just a period of profound peace. Peace for the soul that is released from its earthly bonds. However the death has occurred, it is always followed by peace, profound peace. That is a promise. It is a divine promise that peace always follows suffering. And it feels as though we need to be reminded of that right now in the world, where we see many suffering. We see many deaths, whether that be through war, natural disasters, or anything else. That peace always follows. He's showing me the period straight after somebody dies, and often that has to be by nature very hectic, because that is what society demands. That things have to be sorted, papers have to be signed, decisions have to be made, funerals have to be arranged, all of this type of thing. Phone calls have to be made, people have to be seen. But actually, as much as you can, to try and, despite the anguish and grief, to tune into the energy of peace that the soul that has passed is experiencing, that is also there for you as well. That there can be peace in grief, that there can be pockets of peace in grief, that these pockets of peace in grief will get longer and more extended in nature. And he's saying that these periods where calm comes after suffering, and calm comes during calm comes during grief, is when spirit is carrying you, is when I am with you. And I know there's that Footprints poem linked into Jesus, but I'm also feeling it very strongly with Chamuel as well. That Chamuel is one who comes in and helps you to rebuild from the rubble of your life, of things that have fallen, from the ruins, basically, from the ashes. I'm now being shown the energy of the Holy Spirit, the dove. And indeed, actually, on this card, we have got Chamuel releasing the dove of peace. And he's saying, think about why a dove of peace is released in the first place. The dove of peace is released because it is needed. It's often released during the hardest times, the most difficult times, the most challenging times. But it is there that the bird soars. It is there that the bird soars. The bird goes where it needs to go. And the bird can nestle within the heart space. I don't know if I've still got the meditation to share, but I remember being in New York with some of you for a meet and greet a few years ago now. And those of you that still follow me and watch me, do you remember I took you through a pretty simple meditation, which was just bringing the dove of peace into our heart space. Maybe I did re-record it for YouTube. I really can't remember. If I did, I will link it below. But let's just imagine now that dove of peace going into our heart space. This Advent, this December, that whilst around us there may be chaos, there may be disorder, there may be war, there may be division, there may be hatred, there may be control, the energy of peace can live within us. It nestles very nicely into the heart space, and it has as much room to grow as it needs within that heart space. Because this card says peace comes from remembering that only love is real. So that's Chamuel's energy. It's very, very beautiful. Really love that. I'd like to show you another card now, if I may. And this is the Peace card from the Christ Consciousness deck of mine. And in this depiction, we've got the stones, the standing stones. And it says peace. It says calm center, calm mind. Calm center, calm mind. A reminder of physicality that is needed to hold the energy of peace. That peace by nature can feel elusive, it can feel fragile, it can feel as though it comes and it goes. But yet to hold it within ourselves, we need a strong physicality and a strong mind. A calm mind. So what are you doing to calm your mind? Be really brutally honest about that. Think about the type of things that you're watching. I think particularly in some quarters of the spiritual community and certainly some parts of the truther community, there is an addiction to watching and looking at things that are going to inflame the nervous system, are going to put us into fear or flight mode, are going to fuel the adrenaline rush within our body, highly stimulating, fear response type work out there, preparing for not the Star of Bethlehem and the energy of hope, peace, joy and love, but for some sort of energy of Armageddon or Third World War or, whatever. And whilst there's a time and a place to talk about things that may or may not be on the horizon, I'm not saying that the things I've just mentioned are, I'm just saying there's a time and a place to talk about everything. It's about balance. It's about balance. If all we're doing is feeding our brain and our nervous system and our mind with images, with music, with people, with energy that is not of peace, then what are we going to become? We are what we consume. We are what we eat. We are what we see. I said during the time of the horrors in Israel, the attack that happened in the early October, that I personally, it's a very fine line. I basically said that a lot of the imagery that was on X, formerly Twitter, is the type of thing that if you've watched that, you've watched the horrors that unfolded there on that day in brutal detail, you can't ever get that out of your mind and your head. It's imprinted into your brain, into your mind, into your heart. Got to be very careful. Our world has always known war, for example. Our war has always known horror. Our war has always known terrible things such as starvation and hunger. But if we were to just always watch that and nothing of beauty to balance, you're going to have, it leads to a distorted mind and a distorted reality and a distorted perception. One of the things that's helped me the most over the last couple of years with regards to a lot of the fear that's out there is just walking down the street. And what I mean by that is that when you just walk down the street, you just realise that most people are just getting on with their lives. Most people are fundamentally good. Most people are just looking after their families, tending to their gardens, doing their work. Of course, there are people out there that are unpleasant, argumentative, all the rest of it. But I choose to look for, and I find, the people that are coming from the right place, that are just going about their life in a very peaceful way. And I think the more that we do that, the more that it feeds this energy of peace that the world needs. Be very discerning what you're watching all the time and listening to. I've said this so many times. But it comes back to this card, calm center, calm mind. So I re-ask, what are you doing to calm your mind? What are you doing to calm your center? What foods are you eating that calm your center? That make you feel centered, grounded? What exercises are you doing? I'm not saying any of us are perfect. I'm certainly not. I haven't been out for a walk for a couple of days. I need to go and do some exercise. So we're all a work in progress. But if we want the energy of peace to really come in, we need to really be helping our body to feel at peace. And our body can only feel at peace when it's being looked after. Our mind can only feel at peace when it's being looked after. In addition to this, I'm being shown lists. Metatron's great for this because one of my favourite cards from the Metatron deck is the card of priorities. How many times have I shown you this card? I mean, so many times. I don't think it's just me, but because we live in this busy, busy world of go, 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 lots of things to do all of the time, the energy of priorities is so important. So calm mind leading to peace of mind is to do with, are you looking after the basics? Are you crossing off the list the things that are most necessary to you to live the best life you can? And if we're truthful, in this world of mass consumerism and 24/7 media, we can spend our time doing things that actually don't really serve us. So that's something to maybe think of as well, this Advent, with regards to the energy of peace. What are we doing to sow it and foster it within ourselves? Let me talk about the energy of sapphire then, which is the crystal that ideally I would have liked to have had to show you for peace. But equally, as I say, blue lace agate can be a nice one as well. So let's have a look at the meaning of sapphire. So it says it's a symbol of the heavens, a guardian of innocence, a bestower of truth, a promoter of good health, bringing fulfillment, joy, prosperity, inner peace and beauty. Okay. Spiritual meaning of blue sapphire: wisdom, intuition, spiritual insight. So again, haven't got a sapphire to show you. I haven't actually got a photograph of it printed out either, but I could do that for the next video. And then putting the energy of sapphire onto our wreath. Let's though use the sapphire peace spray. At this point, this is the Archangel Metatron sapphire peace spray, and it comes in also with the energy of reconciliation. So let's just tune into this. Sapphire peace and reconciliation. That there can't be peace without reconciliation. There can't be peace without us reconciling all the different parts of ourselves. There can't be peace without us reconciling our past. There can't be peace without us reconciling with each other. That's the hard truth, but it is the truth. So peace and reconciliation feel as though they go together. And I'm wanting to put the energy of reconciliation into this Advent wreath. I'd like you to think about, what does that mean for you? The word reconciliation, when it is brought up, what feeling does it make your body feel? What does it stir? Is there a particular person that comes to mind? They may be alive, they may have died. Sometimes when people die, we don't reconcile all of our differences. And then there can be regret of things that we didn't say, we didn't do. But remember, spirit is alive and still with us if we choose to invite that person back into our sphere spiritually. You don't have to. But what I mean is that if there were things that you didn't say when they were alive, or maybe it's an estranged partner, they're not in your life anymore, but it was something, loose ends that weren't tied up with regards to a relationship, you can write it down in a letter. You can write down what it is that I wish I had said to that person, what I had done in this particular situation. Write it down really from your heart so that you can start to reconcile with whatever happened, whatever was done, whatever was said. I would encourage you to also maybe do that this Advent as well. So the energy of reconciliation. Also the energy of reconciliation and peace feels as though it ties into reconciling, as I said, I think at the start of this video, although I made a few versions of it, reconciling with our divine self, reconciling with whatever you want to call God. Don't get tied up with words, whether you want to call it Great Spirit, God, universe, cosmos, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, it's just words. Divine, something bigger than you, something greater than you, of which you are part. Have you reconciled with that? Or do you still have an energy of an angry God, a vengeful God, the God of the Old Testament that will cast you into hell, if you do something wrong? That's not my version of God. That's not what I believe God to be. But that's me. It doesn't have to be what you believe. But it's just, where are you at with the whole relationship that you have with the divine? Are you reconciled with it, them, whatever you feel it is? Or are you feeling that it's conspiring against you, that the universe is conspiring against you? And that ultimately comes from a place of not being at peace with the universe, not being at peace with the energy of God. I believe God is loving, and a loving God isn't out for revenge, isn't out to spite you, isn't out to hurt you. So these are quite deep concepts, but I really encourage you again just to maybe just take a note of that. Reconciliation, what does that mean? Is it about a person? Is it about a parent? Is it about a former lover? Is it about God? Reconciliation and peace feel as though they go together. And I think sometimes when we are talking about these qualities of Advent, of hope, peace, joy, and love, I think one of the best ways that you can really tap into what they are is to ask yourself, without them, what do we get? So, for example, without peace, where do we go? Let's just think into that. Without peace, what do we become? So if you just tune into your own body for a moment, your own mind, your essence of who you are as a human being on this planet right now, without peace going into next year, how's that going to look? Is it going to be as good as it could be? The answer is no. I'm not talking here about world peace. I'm talking about the peace that you can hold within yourself, the beautiful dove that you can hold within your heart. Without that there, and instead maybe an energy of envy or jealousy or anger, seething anger, just feel into what that's going to do, what that's going to manifest, whether that be a condition within your body, whether it be a deterioration in a relationship that you've got, whether it be blocking your creativity. And then feel into, what would peace feel like within myself? What would that be able to manifest? What would that look like if that was central to my life next year? And I think we know it would have a very different feel, don't we? So, I think that's what I wanted to say for this first video. Have I covered off the Archangel, the spray and the crystal? Yes, I have. Talked a little bit about peace and hope, which is what I wanted to do in this first video. I'm going to leave it there for now. And we will be back with the second video very soon, which is going to look at the energy of joy and love. I feel like I just want to read something though before we close, linked into peace. Peace that passeth all understanding, I'm hearing. Because I've got my tripod arranged on these books. Let me just see if I can get one of them out. Because it's a book by Louise Hay. Okay, is this going to work? Yeah, I think that's going to work. Heart thoughts. I feel as I want to weave one of these in. Oops, I've gone lopsided. Never mind. Told you it was balancing on books. Let's just see if there's something in here linked into... Yeah, this feels a nice one. What we've been talking about today. I am at peace, this is called. Let me just pick the camera up. Hold on. We're nearly there, guys. There I am. I'm level again. I'm at peace. It says, relax and enjoy life. Know that whatever you need to know is revealed to you in the perfect time and space sequence. It says, today you are a new person. Relax and free your thoughts of all stresses and pressure. No person, place or thing can irritate or annoy you. Not even this tripod that I'm holding. You are at peace. You are a free person living in a world that is a reflection of your own love and understanding. You are not against anything. You are for everything that will improve the quality of your life. You use your words and your thoughts as tools to shape your future. You express gratitude often and look for things to be thankful for. You are relaxed and you live a peaceful life. Let me just put the book back. My arm's getting dead there. Okay. You live a peaceful life. Okay, thank you, Louise. Yes. Okay, so let's just think about what a peaceful life would look like. I think really that's what I was trying to discuss. But a peaceful life for me looks like, fill it in. What does it look like? A peaceful world looks like. So these are just exercises that you can do. Just see if we've got a little blessing on peace. I will create one. Oh, well, there is one here. Oh, this is perfect. What a great way to end. Okay, so it's literally one line. It says, for peace, sometimes not saying anything at all says everything. Oh my goodness, guys. In a world where everyone has to have the last word, which doesn't lead to peace, it can lead to just rubbing people up the wrong way or even more resentment. It's just ego, isn't it? For peace, sometimes not saying anything at all says everything. I love that too. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Take great care. I'm going to get it up now and I'll see you very soon. Stay tuned. Also this December, I hope to do an ancestral healing video around winter solstice. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. Please like the video. I really ask you to do that. Thank you very much. And if you feel called to, share it as well. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye for now. Bye.